Yeah, so just a little overview what the chapter 5 includes basically is related to why do parents become over involved with their children's, and it gives some examples to when parents start to like be involved and what type of let's say causes make people to get involved with their children, to be so closely emotionally involved with them. And in chapter 6, um, it's looking more in depth at what type of families are at risk to develop this type of emotional incest. And chapter 7, it's looking at the difference between a healthy family and a family that is just enmeshed with their children. And also, they do have a quiz at the end, which it helps. It doesn't help because it doesn't like give like a final, like, okay, if you're scoring this much, you did grow up in an enmeshed family or you are a healthy family. But the higher the grade you will get it, the more healthier the family it was for you. Um, so yeah, I guess let's get started with the chapter 5.
Yes.
Okay, so the first question, which it is also in the book, why do parents become overly involved with their children? And so far from what the book is saying, and it's about acknowledging the pleasures that come with the role of becoming a parent. And Patricia Love, she's saying here that mostly people that do become parents, they become overly attached physically with their children's, and then they forget to have this boundary to as how much they can stay physically close to that child. And sometimes these can go over the line, and they will just start using the child to their adult needs and not just like parental needs, which then will develop into a whole different relationship. It's not anymore parent and child, it's parent and
Almost friend.
yeah, parent and friend, and which is definitely much younger than, is not ready to take on this role. So I think people are not aware of um these things that they are developing.
Yeah.
Mm.
And also trying not to make the same mistakes that their own parents did. It's one this thing will say my mom always says that like I never wanted to do this with you like my grandma did. But then it came other bad traits, let's say. She was
Mm.
she wouldn't like to beat me, but then it came other type of way of being too involved with me. For example, telling me her business. You know, you're like, and when you hear your parents past, you're like, oh, okay, that's why you are behaving this way, no? But it's like at the end, it's like, do I have to do something with it? And my mom was always expecting me to take her side, and sometimes you just can. It's like, but I don't know. It's like I'm 12 years old, for example. It's like I just don't know. I guess it's bad the way you feel, but what about the other person? What happened with the other person about and things like that?
Okay,
And
so it's like she was telling you like her past
her business,
affairs. Yeah,
yeah,
and
like
she
oh
wanted you to keep side on
yeah,
to
yeah,
be like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I
Something
feel so bad for you. Like, yeah, I'm with you.
something I dislike so much is when parents tell their kids something bad about their spouse, which was a lot of the examples in the book. You know,
Mm.
when my mother would talk about my father in a bad way all the time. And even though I could feel pity for her, but damn, you have to go through a lot with my father, blah blah blah. But just stop talking bad about him. Damn, just let me be. What am I supposed to do with that information? I cannot change that. Uh, and she was like, yeah, and this is something is so disturbing for me at least. She's like, yeah, but a good child will take the side of the mother. And I'm like, what? What you
Wow.
mean?
Mm,
Which I found manipulative and no fair. Because at the end, I finally heard my father's side, and he also had his reasons. No, it's not that it's okay that they treat each other like trash, but it's like, okay, now I know where you're coming from.
mm.
Now that I'm an adult, of course. That's the thing. I never like it. I was like, Mom, just I never like it when you talk every time bad about my father. It's like, leave me be. Let me be. Yeah, but you need to know the truth. It's like, yeah, but I'm knowing your truth is different. Like, and that's the thing.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah,
Ah,
this is
I
the
have to
thing,
deal
because
with
you
it.
will never get the whole side of the picture. Like, you get whatever they were hurt with, or whatever they think that they were right and the other person was wrong. And then the other side is going to
Yeah.
say the same thing. And then you're like, but anyway, I like too young is like 10, 12 years old is way too young to get to even listen to these things. Like, and at what stage do a parent starts um to even like feel that it is appropriate to communicate such things to the child? Like at how is this starting? Like, um
Oh, that is totally interesting. Well, in my case, I have small siblings, no, and right now they're like in poverty. Basically, they are teenagers. And it's not like before. Before they were just thinking about playing. It's not that it's too much different now, but they're
mm,
probably having more thoughts. They have more complex thoughts now. You tell them something and they are like, oh, okay, but what about this and blah blah blah. And I don't know from a parent perspective because I'm not a parent, but I always thought maybe now is I can actually talk to them as equals, even though I can still teach them something as a big sister. But I really don't know. When can you actually, as a parent?
I think from what happens is that because when somebody becomes a parent, it just becomes overly intimate with that child, so it's another person. But I think what many adults are forgetting is that like they forget this line of how intimate can I get with my child? Like, at what level do I stop? Because, like, okay, you are intimate into like being physically close to it, you are always feeding it, washing it, taking care of it, and so on. But um then I think what happens is that at one level they are like, oh, he's the closest person to me, he or she. Um and and then if they don't have another adult or another friend in their life where they can express or communicate this type of um, I don't know, problems that they are dealing with, then they will go to the child because they are so close to it, and it's like, all right, like, I'm so close to it, I'm relating to it, so um it's part of me, and I will just start to also express my other sides because I'm looking after it. So he or she also have to listen to me, and I think this is when it starts, that they are going over this line when they don't know how intimate they can get. Like, it's not cool to go too deep into it and open these type of subjects, which they are for adult um only.
Oh, when they are kids, yeah. I think I will be fine if my mom will tell me things now, not before, because you know what I mean. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, but it's
but I mean,
now.
now you
But
have the experience, like, you have the
yeah,
mental
yeah, yeah.
ability to deal with it and understand it. But as a child, like, because myself was my dad, that he was always speaking bad will about my mother. My mother, she never spoke bad will about him, but he was the gossip old lady, and
Well,
yeah, I mean, like, it was
it
just
always has to
like,
be someone.
yeah, it always has to be the one, but it's very like, why do I have to know all this? And then, not just like, and it's not that they are telling good parts, you know, it's like bad parts, and then it's not just about the my mom, then it's about the affairs that he's having, and um it's a whole world, different world for me at that age to like be able to deal with. So then you are just there as a child, and you just shut up and you listen, because you don't know. You cannot say, hey, listen, stop telling me this right now, because I don't have yet the ability and capability to listen to this and to deal with your bullshit, because I'm too
And
young,
that's
you
maybe the
understand?
reason why they do that, because they don't
I
have
hope.
someone nagging at them like you are doing something wrong. They don't want to hear that. Oh, why you don't
oh,
tell yourself
oh,
this to your wife? Like, leave me alone.
oh, yeah. Oh, that's actually so good that you brought this up, because, yeah, this is another thing. And this is another thing where she gave this example where the the man gets home and the wife gives him a peck on the cheek and chides him for running supper, and that's it. But then the little one, which is she's 4 years old, she's like running to him like so happy. Oh, daddy's home, daddy's
Yeah,
home.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the parent, he's be like, oh, I don't need my wife, I'm getting this from my child, all this attention and love, and oh my god, you know. And
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
then that's another step when it happens, this because if they are not aware and their ego is just so like I don't know, I find this very, very disturbing, because it's like, why don't you get yourself a dog and that's it? Like, don't even get involved with people, you know. If this is all
Okay.
you want, because a dog will never speak back, the dog will always be happy when you come home, and that's it. Like, end of story. Like, don't
And,
involve other people.
and you
You know?
and that's why we all say that dogs are literally unconditional love because they just cannot speak back as they
But
do. They just keep you. Imagine.
but imagine if a dog could speak. I'm sure he will be able to say some things back. But
I mean, if you knew what my human has say, oh my god. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I mean, there are so many things like, people are not, parents are not aware. Let's just keep to parents. And this is another thing like that she's referring now in this subchapter, where she's saying that to keep parental love within bounds, so you have to know what is being a parent and what is your role as a parent, and then what is your role as uh, maybe an adult in the relationship or in the family, or I don't know, maybe single, it doesn't matter. But um okay, I like the fact that she's giving this example where she's like, okay, if you are single and you don't have a partner, then you must and you don't have family either to, like, you know, be around it, then you need to form yourself a group or a community where you can find your needs from somewhere. And needs as in like
Yeah.
talking, communicating, sexual, um being close to, you know, another human being, and not just rely on that poor little thing, because it's doesn't know. He doesn't know what's happening,
The
like.
baby is another pet.
Yeah, but this is how they treat sometimes children, not like a pet but like a doll. and
Yeah.
and it's very, very disturbing. But what else, something else important? Yeah, what else do you think? What
No, in this one, no, most actually, I was more, when I was reading, I was more like comparing to my experience and whatever the information my parents gave me, how they were treated when they were small. And I was like, damn,
mm.
Jesus. Then the most part
uh,
is when the parents try to fulfill their needs through their child.
mm.
Like they expect you to do things because they couldn't do it. Um, Not a fan of that, but I guess I wonder if even though once the child is grown, if the adult part is some part, I guess some do, right? But what they think if they don't actually try it themselves. Like, I wanted my kid to be a doctor, for example. Can I try to be a doctor now that I'm in my 40s, for example? You know what I mean?
Oh, but that's difficult. It really depends in which culture you in which country you were born. Because, like, for example, in my country, in Romania, it's very rarely for an adult that is over 30s or even 40s to go and take an education,
Yeah.
to learn a skill or something. No, it's my life is over. That's it. 40 over. They are waiting to die. They are
Ah,
planning their
yeah,
death.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
believe
my
me,
god.
my aunt, she already
Yeah,
bought
yeah, no, I
herself
believe you, I
ground
believe
to
you.
die, and I'm like, all right, you do you. But here in Finland, like, it's a whole different system. Like, people at 50s, 60s, 40, oh man, they are out running, studying. Like, their life is not over, you know? It's like taking new degrees or whatever it is. They don't, not everybody, but it's very different here.
Yeah,
So I think this has a lot to do with, you know, the ideas that we grow up with since little, um because especially like in Romania, it's a very still a very fresh, let's say, um country or culture, not culture, but country towards like being a more not under communism, you know, because since 1990, so people grew up with this idea that you know, I have to get married, make a child, go to work, and
yeah.
my child has to do the same, and that's it. They didn't have any hopes and dreams because they were not allowed. So slowly they are, you know, breaking
Opening up.
this,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I,
this
I was thinking
structure.
also
But
the opportunities that the country gives you because, as you were saying, they are so set up in this way. But
mm,
in Finland, people are like, okay, maybe I'm on my 60s, but I have my pension and I can do a little
mm,
bit more things.
mm-hmm,
While in other countries, that unfortunately, you take maybe it's not enough money, so you can actually spend some time for yourself and discover new hobbies or
yeah,
retake your old hobbies and stuff like that. Is that it
yeah.
also makes a difference. It's like opportunities that I don't feel I could have the same freedom economically talking as I have in here in Spain, for example.
Yeah,
Because then it's
yeah,
like,
I'm with
yeah,
you.
okay, I would like to do this, but because it's a whole system, everybody needs to gain their money.
Mm.
I need to pay for example, go for climbing, the ones on the rock.
Yeah, yeah,
I have to pay for ascension, for example, but maybe because don't gain as better, as good as I do here, maybe I wouldn't be able to do it in SF, for example. So
yeah.
yeah,
I understand, but I think some people, some parents, when they do reach like adulthood, maybe they will start to, I don't know. Uh, I would not say live their life because like a child doesn't stop your life from living. Like it's you that you put yourself this limit that now I have a
yeah,
child, I cannot do
of
anything
course,
else. Like, um, um, but yeah, I mean, okay, let's go back to the topic because I feel we went a little bit away from it. Um,
yeah. What you think it was a normal relationship back then, but now you're discovering it was emotional incest actually.
okay. What you think it was a normal relationship back then with your parents, but now you're discovering it was actually an emotional incest.
From my side, share every single detail about your life with your parents. I don't like it.
Hmm.
I just reached a point I was like, I don't want to say it. My parents
Were
were
they
like, what do you
asking
want
you
to say?
though?
Are you? Yeah. And you know what I say? Why you don't want to talk about it? Are you hiding
Hmm.
something?
Oh
I don't
my
know if it
god.
happened to you, but at least for me, and I'm like, well, if you don't want to talk about this thing about you, I'm fine. I don't need to know it.
Let me tell you
That's
what
for me.
happened to me once. I was so embarrassed. I was 14 years old. And, you know, at 14 you start like you know, you want to date little bit, you know, not date, but
Uh,
you know, you start having interest
boys. Yeah, of course.
in male, and you know, so it was this nice, very intelligent, cute kid, at the new school, which they moved me, because this is what I was, a puppet moving back and forward pretty much. So they moved, and I started making like new friends there and everything nice. And this boy, he was so intelligent, so for his age, very educated and very like gentlemanlike and whatsoever.
Mm.
And I don't know how my dad, I think he always spies on me, but he knew that I was just conversating, nothing else. Like, and I came once home after school, maybe like 30 minutes late. He always like keeps track on my time. Like I had to be home. He knew when I finish and be home exactly in that time. No delay. You don't go nowhere, and so on. Oh my God! And he made me such a big story out of it. Like you don't go outside for a month. Like what do you think you are to speak with a boy, and and all these things. And I was like, what's wrong to speak with a boy? Like, mm,
Yeah.
like but he always kept me like I remember when he was like letting me to go outside, he tell me like, okay, be home at 7 p.m. So sometimes
Mm.
I was a bit late, because when you're a kid, you enjoy playing. And if I was like 5 minutes late, next day he was cutting me half an hour out from my um, normal time.
Oi.
Or he always put me in the room, you have to study, or he wanted me to be, I can't remember, but he wanted me to become what he wasn't, basically. So he was trying to live his um, life through me, kind of. And
Yeah.
and that was just very suffocating. Like I could feel it, because I didn't have space to express my whatever it was there to express.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so it was like everything, monitoring everything, every little step. Like, okay, what are you doing now? Da, 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 what did so, and no privacy. Like I never had privacy wherever I was.
Mm.
Never.
I think that's one part of the book that calls the super child. Uh,
Oh.
when the parents are
Mm.
giving the kids so much education and hobbies that the kids like, but I want to play. No, you have no time to play.
Yeah, exactly. This is how but it's just I was very rebellious, because I knew like I couldn't accept this authority, like this like I respect him as a child, but I just felt like you are suffocating me, like
Yeah.
trying to keep me like this in a leash. um so yeah, it was very, very disturbing at that time.
Yeah. And then
Hmm.
let me ask something. Oh, so your papa was always so involved with you, but at the same time, he will tell you that you wouldn't achieve anything. And
Yes,
that's
yes.
so
This
contradictory.
is it is very, very contradictory, because he good that you brought this up, because even myself, like I was staying and thinking when I was reading this, like, okay, like he was on top of me, but he didn't give me that affection. He wanted me to be this, but he's telling me that I'll never gonna reach that. So it was like um it's just confusing. Like, okay,
So he
what am
projected
I?
himself
You
on you. He didn't see you, but he saw himself as a child, just in the
uh
female form.
I
And
have
he,
no idea.
it's like, okay, if I had a second chance to do the things,
Mm.
people just maybe I don't know. It's like, okay, I'm seeing my
Uh,
child. If I had a second chance to do what I couldn't do when I was a child,
mm.
but then it's so strange.
It's very strange, but I think he was very disturbed. Like he didn't knew himself, like what he's doing. To be honest, with the whole parent
Mm,
role and
yeah,
whatever, and he was also very manipulative, like very, very manipulative from many points of view. And um, it's just, yeah, like, but yeah, confusing times, man. Like now telling you this, and then telling you this, and then this, and then something new, and then you're like, okay. I'm not moving. At one point, I think I did became so, I was really, really shy and very like so closed up. You couldn't, I was crying out of everything. Like, if you touch me, if you tell me one little thing, insult small, I was just so broken, man, you know? So broken.
Mm.
But I think after the age like 16, 17, I started to like pick my bits and pieces, you know, and started to like understand more and more. But it took some time to fully realize many things that um, they were caused, let's say, by the way that I was raised up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun to discover.
Yeah, it did. It's a whole adventure. It is a whole
I
adventure.
mean, I
Like
mean,
it's
fun in the ironic way, also. Like,
yeah. It's like
but
damn.
mm, yeah. But going back to the question, for me, what you think it was normal relationship back then, but now, just for me, to be honest, it was very difficult to definitely have my own space. I never had my own room, like never.
Hmm.
Um, and I always sleep with somebody in bed,
Oh yeah,
either
of
my
course.
dad, my aunt, somebody, you know, until
Yeah.
stepsister. Um, so I never ever had my own space, or so that to me it was normal. But now thinking it back, it's not normal because um I think you do need your space. You do need your privacy. You need to have
Indeed.
this room, yeah, where you can just not be you, but just, you know, that privacy of like not always having somebody on top of you, or telling you what to do, how to be, and so on.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, that. And then of course the I've never seen my parents like hugging, kissing. I've never seen that thing. I think we did spoke, to me that was normal. And um
Right.
yeah, like I like how two people behave, you know, like in a normal relationship. But I was fortunate enough, I do remember, I used to live at the fifth floor. Underneath me, fourth floor, it was this family. Their name was Sparrow. And they had also two children, and their whole family was different. Like, I was
Mm.
so not envious, but I was like, I want that, because I could see the parents, how they were like, you know, behaving and affectionate around each other, and so on. So I think I was lucky enough that I got to definitely see either neighbors or other type of parents around, and have a different view of what um, parents or two people that come together should not should be like, but can be like also, and not just what I'm experiencing at home every
Yeah.
time, the fights and all those things. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course. So it's
Mm.
really nice to see different people than your own family.
Well, yeah, I think it's very good. it's
Yeah. It's refreshing.
it's yeah, it's necessary though. It's necessary because you have to develop, your brain has to develop, like, and see other see everything, the whole world, not just whatever happens there. So um
Yeah.
yeah. But what else? Okay, another thing, it was that, okay, thing that I was um at that time I saw it as normal. My dad, every time when he was like coming from work and home, he was
Mm.
always like drinking. So to me that was like, oh yeah, he's just distressing, or um and then drinking, and then going to other things. But this was like, yeah, normal, that, you know, you come home and you just open a bottle of alcohol and drink. So that was normal at that time. But now I'm like, that's not normal at all. So especially when it's done like repeatedly, like daily.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, it's many things.
Yeah, of
I
course.
don't
I
even
mean,
remember all of
it's
them, but
Yeah.
It's
It's
um
a lot of things. I don't know, but
mm,
my father, the only thing is I barely saw him when I was a child, and my house was mostly my mom and my grandma. Well, that's the
mm,
thing. The most significant thing is sharing absolutely everything. That
mm.
when I finally, even though I got my room, but I never got a door. I think I mentioned this before. That
Oh, poor you.
everything
Yeah, I
was
remember.
open. It was
Yeah, yeah.
and
Mm,
and and I remember my mom putting a curtain
yeah.
to have a
Yeah,
little
to
privacy. Like damn.
the
When I finally got to Spain, I got my room again, and this time I
mm,
got a door. But my mom hated when I closed the door. Why are you
mm.
closing the door? Why you have to be in there? Like, I just want to. Why you need explanation for that? It's like I'm just chilling in my room. That's it. Let me be.
Yeah, I
But
know.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
like
It will be so uncomfortable for her. I'm like, mom, but you have your door too. Like you know you can go to your room, you can close, and who will give a damn? Like you're not hurting anybody. But that's the thing.
yeah. I've never understood this thing, to be honest, either, with this constant um I don't know how to call it, constant
Watching out.
pestering, yeah, watching out, and the
The
need of knowing every, I mean, you have to supervise your child, of course, and be in control of
Yeah,
certain
of
things,
course.
but I don't understand this supervision constantly, every second, every minute, like yeah, it's very it will definitely make the child, if he, depending also like what type of character he has, if he's really compliant, then he will just like, yeah, accept whatever. But if they are like a bit more, not accepting and not taking everything for what it is, then it can really turn that child into a very misbehaved, let's say, child, or turning out later on in adulthood to like have problems with authority, or not respecting rules, or getting, in conflict with police or so on. And that could have the root because of how they were raised, at as child, like they never had this, always control, always suffocated, so
Yeah. And now I was just remembering my papa was telling me, oh, your brother told me something that happened in high school that a girl told him that he looked cute, and and then he said maybe he's gonna turn it to you for advice. And I'm like, why? Maybe he already told you, so probably it was you who he needed any advice,
mm,
if
mm,
anything. Even in
mm,
any way, I'm not gonna deny that it actually got me a little bit curious, but it was that thing. If he wants to tell me, fine. If he doesn't, no. But my mom is like, why you don't want to tell me? Why are you hiding? Eh? What you do?
oh man.
And I'm like, let me have my secrets. Let me have my secrets. Okay? I want to have this fantasy world for myself. You don't need to know everything.
I
But she will
know,
get so
that's
mad.
mm,
Now it's better. It's like, yeah, finally. Or will I ask her something? She doesn't want to tell me. Well, okay, if you don't want to tell me, you don't want to tell me.
yeah.
It is what it is. But then she's a little bit more like that with my siblings. They're like, let
Mm.
them be, mom. Like, what they gonna tell you? How they were playing which
I
game?
don't know. I think that's why it is important, definitely, to have friends, man, have friends, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a partner, but not necessary, because sometimes having a partner doesn't really uh, make up for the other partner not to get enmeshed with the child, if the parent is not like meeting the needs, or it's withdrawing, or
Yeah.
um yeah. But okay, I wanted to bring up this mm, there is this chapter where she's saying that a lack of love, information, and role models, which they weren't clear, um, that them as parents, they didn't had this as when they were children, for example, they didn't had themselves a role model, enough love and affection, and then it did turn out later on when they had children to kind of repeat the history, let's say, and do the same things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm. So, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have to. It cannot be broken, the cycle, you know. Um, if like them as parents or as individual or human beings, they do realize that, okay, like the way that I was raised is not normal, like it's not correct, so let me try something different and do it the other way. Well, I guess my question is, did you have any role models? Like, did you saw a role model into your family, either from your mother or father?
Oh, what you mean, like roles in the
Role
something good?
model. Yeah, like a role model. Like, I see, like the way that my mother behaves. I feel that she's a good role model for me to follow up and follow her step, or try to
Oh,
become like him or her, or.
I never chose one person. I honestly took the best part of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
For example, my father, he never raised his voice and were never violent.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm.
mother was, it was very chill, of course. My father is very chill.
Mm.
My mom, she's a little bit more fire, but she is more responsible in that way. Like my father was more neglectful, but my mother was more responsible. She had clear things. She wanted to change things, even if it took her a little bit more time, but she wanted to do it, no? And my grandma, despite everything that she's done, that she's been through, she's still a very, 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 very loving person.
Mm.
Um, my big brother, then well, we at the end, since we were taking care of each other because everybody was outside working or whatever, uh, from him I took forgiveness. Like he always chose forgiveness. He could be bitter, he could be holding grudges, but he chose forgiveness towards our
Mm.
parents. And that was very good for me. And then I met more people through my life. My stepfather also, he's forgiveness, he's very loving, he's very caring. He has his own bad things too, but the good traits. So I really don't have a specific person for as a role model. I think all of them taught me something, and maybe I can invent that person in my imagination. Say, okay, I want this type of
Yeah.
things for
Mm.
myself and for other person. And yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
how
Okay.
about you?
Good. Yeah, for me, pretty much the same. Like, okay, my mom, she was very, very strong character, so I always like looked up to her into like, because she was the one keeping up the family and making sure that money were enough, food was on the table, and so on. My dad was very, very responsible, so I never looked towards him for nothing, to be honest. But
Mm,
um yeah, I guess, yeah, from my mom, from neighbors a lot, to be honest. What else? Movies for sure, like from movies,
mm,
or characters from the book, or um yeah, yeah, just like this, going around and just
yeah.
collecting. Yeah. So, okay, is there something else we want to say about chapter 5?
Oh, I think we can keep moving.
Oh, I think it was this thing, actually. Warning signs. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. This is an important warning signs of emotional incest. Before we move there, she's presenting 10 of them. One is like wanting a child soon after marriage, or whenever somebody, like, they just get married and it's like, oh, I want a child.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, she sees that as a warning sign, unless there is like something threatening or something to do with health that it does require for a person to conceive now, because maybe she is not possible to do it afterwards. So that's
Mm.
okay excluding. Then number two, nursing a baby into the toddler years. Um I don't fully I think what she meant here that like using already the physical closeness of the baby to meet her unmet needs, as in not having enough maybe closeness with a partner, and then she's using the baby to get that type of connection. Um,
That's the you mean the
and
one that permitting a child to sleep in the adult bed?
no, second, nursing a baby into the toddler
Ah,
years.
yeah. Okay, 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 okay.
Mm. Yeah, and
When they
number
say
three,
but they said sorry.
no.
It's just that when they say nursing, I was thinking about the feeding part, and that's it. I wasn't thinking about, I don't know, the hugging and stuff,
Mm,
because I was like, what do you mean nursing? I mean you.
yeah, yeah. I think the word itself does imply something different, but if you look more into it, it's um, if you look more into it, then if she's going over the normal nurturing, let's say, level or boundary between the mother and the child to, yeah, feed it, clean it, and whatsoever, but if she's overly keeping the baby with her all the time at every step, then I think that's something to be worried about. Um, then, yeah,
Uh,
number three, permitting a child to sleep in adult bed. I mean, me personally, I think this should not be done, definitely, to allow the child to sleep in the adult bed, because many reasons. The child will get used to always have somebody around, never be alone, and always depend on something or on someone, and never have this capability of just, yeah, going to sleep alone, or be secure and confident on him or herself.
mm.
At least that's how I see it. It is.
Yeah, this one for me was kind of like, because I grew up like sleeping with my parents and also my grandma, but when they gave me my room,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't I wasn't missing them. If anything, I was just a little bit scared of the darkness, right? And even when I was a teenager, I will go sometimes to sleep with my mom, but it was me. And then after, no, I'm okay. I'm just gonna sleep on my bed. But I, but maybe, but well, my brother actually had a hard time sleeping alone. I will have to ask him. It was because you wanted to
Mm.
just have the closeness, or because you were scared of the darkness? You know what I mean? Because for me, at least, it's like two different things. I never saw that one as a specific
or
problem.
or it's not that just they cannot be on their own, it can also turn the other way around. Maybe if they've been having too much closeness with, sleeping always with somebody, maybe when they are adults they don't even want to be in a relationship, or because they never had this, like they always
Okay.
have had, yeah, the space, so maybe when they are adults, like I don't want to deal with this, or they might have these things like, oh, don't touch me, don't come close to me, don't hug me, because it was way too much at that time, so it can
Maybe.
also turn to this way.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. For me, it was just different in that way. I
Hmm.
was doing whatever. No,
Yeah. Okay, number four, teaching a child at home.
this is for
I
me so American. No, because I don't know anybody that were learning at home with the parents. Have you?
um yes, I did knew somebody, one child, but I don't see it as a bad thing. It really depends what are the reasons behind it. Like, um, is there maybe the child not able to, I don't know, be at school, or it can be many reasons, or maybe the parents don't want to let the child to be educated by someone else, because I don't know. Sometimes the education that is out there, man, is just, it's not. the best education, you know, like in terms of learning something new. Because now most of, I don't know how it's now in school, but at that time they just teach you to become functional in society, but not to, you know, to do things that you really want to do or enjoy
Yeah.
doing. So they just indoctrinate you, you know, with many things. So I don't know. Here I'm like, I don't know if this is concern. It really depends what is the choices behind. If you do
Thing,
choose to have the child because you want it to be at home close to you, then that's wrong. But if you do choose to teach the child because of reasons that you see it's, yeah, not good
yeah,
for
yeah,
the
I
child,
understand what
then
you
yeah.
mean. Yeah. I don't know, but well, the teaching part, the education in itself, like okay, it's respectable actually, it's
Mm.
not wrong. But I think kids actually need to meet their own peers, their own age and stuff.
Yeah, to
That's the
be,
thing. If they're only just spending time with the parents and they don't get to socialize, for me at least, it's a problem because we
it
need to
is.
socialize.
Yeah,
But other
definitely
than
a child
that,
needs.
the
Mm.
education is like that's actually very to each his own.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Okay, number five, reluctance to hire babysitters. Yeah, I think here, I mean, again, it depends. If you did hire babysitters and you had a bad experience with one, then maybe, yeah, you will be a bit
For
reluctant next time because
security,
you
yeah,
don't
for
know.
security reasons.
Yeah, and you don't know who's that person, man. Like, it's gonna be looking after your child. Like, uh, there are people where they will beat your child up, you know, sometimes, and you don't know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
type of
that's the
person you
thing.
invite, you know. So of course I'll be reluctant. Like, I'm not just gonna like invite everybody in, but yeah, if they never won, then yeah, this should be a concern for sure.
As well, it's just the same having a stranger than having I don't know the neighbor or one of your families that it has free time to take care of your
Yeah.
kids and
Mm.
stuff like that. But it's just like it's difficult. It's hard to actually let a stranger get take care of your kid. Because then you hear those crazy stories and you're like, I don't know what happened to my kid. I didn't know.
This is the thing, yeah, the crazy stories and everything. But yeah, having somebody close to you, maybe, yeah, as you said, or maybe another parent that has child, and you make an agreement with them and be like, hey, this weekend you can have my child over, and they spend together time, and then next weekend I take your child, so you have free time and whatever. But it has to be somebody
Yeah,
trusty, of course, like that will give love and affection to that child and not just be there because I pay you money.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but well, since it's a like more a psychological and emotional matter in this book, I guess she wasn't taking in account specifically about the safety part.
mm,
Like no the stories about people beating up babies or kids and stuff. Like just the fact of no wanting nobody else to take care of your kid.
mm,
It
yeah,
might be that.
okay. Um, then six, a reluctance to let a child spend the night with a friend or go to summer camp. Oh, that's so true. I was never ever let out to like, yeah. I always wanted, like, I remember these girls, they used to have these pajama parties, you know, and
Yeah.
oh, I never. I cried so bad because I really wanted to experiment that and be, you know, I think I was 13 or 14, so around that age, and yeah, never let me go somewhere to experiment, you know, and be around other group of people. So yeah, this it is a concern, and it's, yeah. Um, what else? Feeling unusually distraught that a child will be leaving home. Oh dear, this is a definitely.
Oh go! Oh must.
You know, no, I'm not gonna go into this because it's too personal, but yeah, I agree with this one. Setting more restrictions on a child's activities than is common with other parents. Yeah, this also is definitely, at least from my experience, it is, because I remember when
Mm,
I did went into this volleyball team, and it was a very like well-known team, like Dinamo, which is professional team,
yeah.
and I was 13, and I had to sneak out of the house before going to school to go and train because I knew he would not let me. So I did enter in the team, and then my stepmother catched me one day that I left
Oh.
earlier. It's like, where are you going so early? And what do you do with that bag? Because I had the bag and I had the
Are
knee
you gonna give
pads,
them?
the yeah,
Yeah.
like everything, all the equipment. And I'm like, I said nothing. We just have an event at school. Of course, I was lying. And she's like, okay, let me see what you have in the bag. I'm like, no. And she opened my bag and she found all these. And then next, she said to my dad, and my dad, of course, he what is this? A waste of time. You have to learn. And then punished. So
Ay,
yeah, it's like
when this kind of thing happens, seriously.
yeah. 9, resenting the time a child spends with friends.
Man, so annoying. Let me
It
wait
is.
with my people.
It is, man. It is very, very.
Or
'Cause,
when they say, no, I don't think that person is good for you. Oh, I will find myself, don't worry.
mm.
Let me leave.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, of course, if it is really dangerous for me, that person, like, they should take action. But if it's not, then
Yeah.
like, what the hell? Like, just chill out, dude. Like, yeah, it's but yeah. All right, next one. I'm just speeding up this one because I want us to move to the 6 and 7. Devoting a great deal of time to the development of a child's talents.
Yeah, the super child.
Yeah, that's very, very worrying sometimes. I mean, it depends. If you do teach him at home, then yeah, fine. But like, I mean, if you do teach him with, I think, with the idea that you just want him to um, learn something or develop some skills, but not because that's your intention, because you haven't done that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so if you just put this, but if you do give few options that okay, when he's growing up, he will choose whatever he wants. But too much, yeah, it's way too much. Like so many activities and not having time to play. Yeah, that's. I have a friend in Romania that they are growing their child like this, and poor child, oh my god, so stressed and um, is 15 now, but 15, yeah, but it goes from place to place, from morning to night, and
Oh, yeah.
it's no, no, that's too much. That's too much. All right, let's move chapter 6. Identifying families at risk. Yeah. Oh,
Mm. What roles your parents gave you as a child that they was you supposed to expect from another adult, no, a child?
what roles your parents gave you as a child? Is it like when you were a child, when you were young? What roles your parents gave you or showed to you that um as in like what is right to do, what is not right to do, what is the right behavior, what is the right action.
In my case, I have two in specific, and one is taking care of the money when I didn't have to do that, and the second, be emotionally supportive when you don't know shit as a kid.
Mm.
And that's when they say, "Yeah, but I live this and this and this," and then you're like, "Damn, but I don't know." I think the most annoying one was the economic war because my father used to give me money to take care of it. I'm like, why I have to take like it's okay, you can teach a kid like don't spend money crazily or blah blah, but I don't know, you have your partner and you agree on how to take care of the bills or how you guys are gonna share the money for whatever extra expenses. No, they give it to me. I'm like, why? And
Oh,
I was excited, you know, because you're like, oh yes, I'm gonna do other things. That yes, but then it's like you literally gave me this to me because you don't trust my mom,
oh dear. Well, how old were
right?
you?
I was 8 years old, and now all the way up to 11.
8
Then
years
I went,
old,
yeah, because
and they gave you
they,
money at that time to keep it.
yeah,
My god, they should be rich now. If I was you, I would have just Same.
Yeah, but that money was not for me. That's the thing. That money was not for me. It was to give it for him. I was like, what is this? Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
And
Oh
and
man,
they
if I
actually
was
had
you.
a it is funny. Yeah, it is funny. But the thing is, uh, they didn't judge each other when it came from money. So it was kind of, now that I see it, it's like, no,
Mm.
that wasn't right. Why you don't trust your wife? Like,
Dude,
so you this but imagine. But listen, after
I'm
that,
sorry, I
okay,
don't
I'm
mean to
gonna take
laugh. I'm
out
so
the
sorry.
money. It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
But after that, because you also, okay, fine. But then I will sometimes take out money and I will just buy my candies to me or to
Mm.
my brother. Or we could go to the arcade park or we just play. And they were like, where's the money? Well, you give it to me and I spend it.
Oh
No,
man.
but you don't do this and blah blah blah. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, you're funny.
That's our anecdote. But when it came to talk about money between them, boh, that was war. They were not my parents, but at least my mom and my grandma. They would literally argue so heavily to about money.
Mm.
They would be verbally violent toward each other. It was very nasty, and I'm not very comfortable when people actually argue about money because it's like, damn, but it's just money. Like, money comes and goes, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So in
But
that
you.
way, it was pretty annoying for me. Like, it was toxic. I don't know. And it's like, why do you give me money to give it? Just give it to your wife. And she probably is gonna administrate it better than I am. Like, I'm only 8 years old. The only thing I'm
Mm.
gonna think about is eating candies or go spending on an arcade park with my brother. And that's what we did. Am I gonna think about, oh no, I need this money because they have to buy me a uniform for school? I'm not gonna think about that. I just want to play.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just wondering, like, why they don't understand this development, that how the child, like, what an 8 years old will do, with the money
And
if
then
you
they're
give
like,
it.
where's the money? Well, it's on my belly. No,
Just
but
take you
you
up and
cannot do
shake
that.
you. Give us the money back. We don't have dinner tonight. We gotta eat you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, they.
Yeah, but it's, yeah. Well, still, if I will have been you, I'll have, okay, 5 year now, 5 year there.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, but you're thinking about actually saving money. It's like, okay,
Nah.
maybe I can save money and I can buy this toy. Oh my
I
god,
mean,
what
I
are you
can, of
thinking?
course. What you can, actually, this, and it will have been great, to be honest. I think if, like, parents will actually teach the child to save money, and not just everything that they are given to them, but like 1%, man. 1% whatever they are
Yeah.
giving you, you just save it. You don't touch it, and teach them how to save and why to save and so on, and that you don't have to spend all of it. I think it will
Yeah,
definitely
of course.
make a
And
different
why to save it? That's very
outcome.
important. Like now,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Even though that happened to me, he actually tell me that I cannot spend everything.
Mm.
And I'm good at saving money, and that part is actually cool. But
Yeah.
there were problems arising because I was the one keeping the money when I didn't have to actually. Like they tell me, my father tell me how to manage money when because he was a bus driver,
Mm.
and sometimes he will tell me, then come, you sit here, and then you take people's money and you give them the change. So for me, that's quick math, right? Like bam, bam,
Yeah.
bam, 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 and that's cool. And if you do this, then you can have this little money, you can spend it whatever you want to, or you save it. That's cool. But when it came for more serious matters, he also was entrusting me with that. Not even my big brother,
Mm.
but me. And I don't understand why you would do that, but okay. And when that happened, that's when he and my mother were arguing, and then my mom and my grandpa. Oh,
Yeah, it starts a whole chain of things, but yeah.
yeah,
All right. So the thing that she's saying here, the families are most at risk with this emotional incest. She's categorizing, obviously, for the single parent family, because I mean, yeah, at one from one point or another, they are the most I say at risk to develop this type of relationship with the child, to be overly emotional involved with them, because that's the only source that they have to like communicate, contact. It's daily there with the child, and then here she's pointing out that some single parents try to solve the time and energy crunch by asking the children to do more chores at home, which, the child will do it because he will feel more adult, and who doesn't want to feel more adult when he's a child?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, oh, look at me, I'm so important.
I don't think, but I still want to play.
Yeah, but then you actually want to play. um yeah, but I mean, that's fine with it when, few responsibilities is okay. Yeah, they have to learn, a few things, but when it's too much of like adult responsibilities, which is bigger than like things that a partner should do, maybe financial reasons, as you said, giving money.
Just you laughing.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm so
okay.
sorry.
Yeah,
So
it's fun.
sorry.
It's a
No.
funny.
um but yeah, when it's way too much, it's gonna become a burden for the child, man, because he doesn't know how to deal with all that responsibility, and he will take it on, and then he's like, oh yeah, I just have to do this and my needs don't matter, like,
Yeah.
so that's, yeah. But the thing is, what she's saying here is mainly when um, couples are divorcing. The thing that I would have wanted to see from her is if somebody is intentionally choosing to become a single parent and not coming out from a divorce or something like that.
Mm.
I will have liked the book to have that thing also, which she doesn't point it out, but yeah.
Because I think that's more our time. Before, I think people, even if it was forced, everybody will get together with someone and just deal with that someone. Now it's a little bit more popular, let's say, to decide to choose to be a single parent. I think maybe because this book, I think, is from the 90s or something like that. If I no,
I don't know.
if I remember okay,
I
yeah, but
think it's
it's been
2000.
it's 2000. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but the thing it's been many years anyway, and it's more popular now to actually choose to be a single parent. Maybe in that way, she doesn't have so many people
Hmm.
coming to therapy and stuff. Mm, I don't know. It doesn't show.
It is
Oh well,
1990. Yeah.
1990. Okay.
It is, yeah. It's a pretty old book, but still, it still does. A few things are okay, good in the book, what she's pointing out, but yeah, I think a few things. Maybe it would be great if she's gonna do an update of the book, or if she's still alive. I don't know. I
Actually, yeah,
haven't checked, to be honest.
another. Yeah,
Yeah, if she's doing,
it will be
or
nice.
because
Or
definitely
probably
it
someone
has.
else had done it.
Yeah, or somebody else has done it for sure. Um, yeah,
Let's see if
and
I can.
then the second family that can be at risk of emotional incest, it's the step family. um and this is actually, I mean, because like when somebody already has a child, most of the times they already have a bond with that child, and having a third person coming inside their life, it will be a type of jealousy there. And um and then the father or the mother that has the child, if he or she is not getting their needs met from the new partner, then he will turn up to the child and be like, all right, if you don't want to do this with me, then I'll go out with my child, or I will do this, or they still rely on the child, for to meet their needs, because like, you don't want to do this with me, okay, I'll go and do it with my child.
Or vice versa. There is the parent that is not meeting the step parent needs, and then there is this confrontation between the the step parent, damn this word, and the child. Because I think it was printed
Yes.
on somewhere that, oh, but you are no. Yes, this one. The, there is one girl.
Yeah, when I know that chapter when
The
she's saying
girl,
when the little girl she's like looking
Daddy
at
and I
the
have a very special relationship, and we
yeah
have been together a long, long time. And you're like, wow.
yeah, and she was like, "Oh my god, I feel so like what do I do now? Like I feel like somebody's pointing a gun at me and like don't
Yeah,
even look
yeah.
at my dad, because he belongs to me, kind of like yeah, that's
Belongs
yeah,
to
but
me.
that's the consequence though. The consequence of like uh, of emotional incest, like look at the child also what it turns out because he thinks it's normal for me and daddy or mommy to be so all the time close. Don't even come near me because I'm gonna bite you. you know you know
Ah, the being kids actually get jealous of or jealous or whatever with the new person, and it's like,
I
wow.
have
Oh,
I will
never.
speak from that because I have experienced it myself, and I have to say that it's true. At one point, I was very involved with my dad. Not involved, but I was
Mm.
just so attached to him that
Mm.
when this new lady came in the life and we actually like moved together with her and with her other children, I did had a type of jealousy, and I felt like I was losing him. Not actually what losing because he never gave the attention, but losing that little bit that I had, which I did,
Yeah,
and that definitely created in me a type of not liking her at all. Like I never ever liked her,
yeah.
um so yeah, it's true. It does create a very weird,
Environment, yeah.
yeah, very very weird, like no, not good.
Well, but I hope she was good with you.
No.
Oh.
No, she was. I mean, come on. She said to my dad, I had one passion only as a child, play volleyball. And
Yeah,
they
yeah.
took that away because of
No,
her.
yeah, but
So
I
you can
mean in
imagine how much I
general.
hated it after.
No, really understandable, understandable.
Mm, mm, but yeah. Um. Okay, and then of course the only child. If the parents they only have one child, and they don't have this healthy relationship between them as adults and parents and spouse and spouses. How do you say for a lady? Spouse, wife,
House?
yeah, whatever, spouses, yeah.
Ah, expose. Expose.
Yes,
No, expose. Ooh.
spouse. It's a spouse. It's like
Oh,
yeah, just
in English.
just don't
The
worry.
wife
It's,
or the
it's
or
not
the
our first
husband. Yeah.
language, English, so don't worry. Just
Yeah.
forget about it. Yeah. So if they only have one child, then it is more likely to develop either the wife, either the mother or the father, or both. Oh my god, and this is very bad if it's both of them relying on that child because the child is just gonna be like a ping
Taking it
pong,
back.
ding
I
ding, and
mean,
then it's just
where's the air?
very very unfair, like very unfair.
Yeah.
And I do have a friend who's been a poor guy, but yeah, it's and he has told me things that he has told me very horrified, and
Mm.
yeah, he's trying to overcome many things, but hopefully he will be able to. But yeah, when parents do rely on the child to needs and they don't let you out to have friends, to make friends, and always keep you next to them and teach you this, teach you that because they like it, and then they want you to do it also because you have to have a passion together. That's, oh my god, that's
Mm.
very 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 disturbing, very disturbing. Because it's the life of a child that you're dealing with. Like, you are not thinking of the child's future, you're basically thinking of yourself, of your own needs, desires, and individual self, which is, yeah, people need to have, I think every person that wants to have a child, they need to have first, how can I say, I don't know, a course or something, like
Forced to be a parent.
Yeah, of course, to be not only to be a parent, but are you capable of being a parent? You know, like into like what are your ideas for raising a child? Do you know what to teach, how to be able to conversate with the child, how to teach the child to be able to express his emotions, how close to get with the child, what is normal, what is not normal, and then all these things. Yeah, people, they should be something like this created.
I think they do something like very basic when the mothers are pregnant and they have
Mm.
this some places I don't know, but when they invite both parents to have these activities together with the pregnant ladies. But that's of course in the baby stages, and they teach them how you treat them, how you take care of them, and blah blah. Now,
Is it free?
that oh, that I don't know. I
Mm.
don't know. I know they exist, but I don't know if they're free. Would be nice though.
Yeah, this is the
Uh,
thing, as most of the people, this is another thing what happens in society. Whenever somebody sees an opportunity to create a business, they will do it. And just for the money, not for like, this is what society has to know and learn. So they will just see this opportunity and make money. And not everybody will have access at it, but it will be great to have something that everybody can have access at it.
yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. It's just that part is like activities with the pregnant parents, that's what they call it, no? When they are still in the
Ah.
mom and stuff. Now, activities like that, when
Mm.
the kid is already growing, that I don't know. But I know there is for pregnant parents,
Mm.
which is very interesting actually, because then you get the man involved in the pregnancy process, how they feel,
Yeah.
or what kind of things
Mm.
they can do together, even though she's pregnant, because it's like, oh no, don't move, and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's actually pretty interesting. Now, I really don't know if they are free. Maybe for some places they are, some no.
yeah.
That I really
Most of
don't know.
them, I think none of them are free, to be honest. But yeah, this is really great
Hmm.
because, and yeah, the man should definitely also be involved into this and not um just be there. Like, yeah, he needs to know like how to act also once the baby arrives, because everything is gonna change. And most of the men, what they do, they will be jealous on the child, or they will withdraw, or it will develop something. Not all of them, but most of them they will, and they will feel left aside. They don't understand that what a child takes, you know, to once it comes. Like, you are not anymore the primary. Um, like the wife cannot now look after you. You know, like you have to look after yourself, and of course, few needs will be met, but some of them will not, because it's they need to understand through what stress the woman goes when they are after they gave birth, and especially in the first 3 years of child's development, because she needs to be there for the child. So
Mm.
they don't get this. They don't get this, and then they become. That's when most of the relationship break apart, to be honest, and this spark, whatever they had before, disappears, because they
Yeah.
see the child as an intruder breaking the relationship or whatever, but it's not. It's
Oh, they have
so.
changed a lot through the times. We are not
Mm.
near perfect, of course. At
Mm.
least my mom told me that when she got pregnant with my brother, it was such a difference between Venezuela and Spain, because in Venezuela there is so much um what is this word, masculines, um
Like
that the man never.
stereotyping. Yeah,
Yeah,
stereotyping,
but
like the
like in the way that
masculine.
the man almost doesn't get involved in the education and raising the kids, and be a little bit more with their wife when there is, right, like say the woman is staying most of the time at home and taking care of the kids and the house, and then the man is like going outside. But then dysfunctional families, and then you have irresponsible fathers and blah blah blah. And then my mom, when she was in Spain, well, she was when she arrived to Spain, and then she became pregnant with my brother, because my stepfather is very responsible, and he
Mm.
was involved all the time. Every time she went to have the appointment to the doctor to check on the baby and everything. My papa was with her. She was like, "Damn, this is such a different, and it's so nice." Because I never
Mm-hmm.
got that when I was pregnant with my with when she was pregnant with me. So she actually was so thankful in that way because damn, it's so different, right? Like South America and Europe, it was. And here I
Yeah.
see if there's even more involvement here in Norway, and it's very nice. It's actually very nice to see that there is not this is slowly going away this stigma of men taking care of the babies because I mean it's normal, it's your baby. You need two to make a baby, okay?
Yeah, that's true. Like it's not, it's not just a miracle happening. But yeah, I mean, interesting. I mean, the same in Romania. It was,
Mm,
and it still is. Like the men's are so irresponsible and lazy, and just like a baby comes in. Yeah, they put all the responsibility on the woman, and I'm just trying to. It's not. Sometimes I was questioning, like, why the woman accepts that, like, why do you even accept to have a person like this next to you? But okay, there are many reasons, but still, like, um, I think it's not just the social learning behavior that has been like developed throughout history that men should be like, um, I don't know, either like, yeah, go to work, bring money home, whatsoever. But now, I mean, things are changing. Women are still going to work and bring money and also take care of the child and your ass because you don't know how to cook or whatever. Um,
mm.
and many, many things. So, um, things are changing, but it's still going on like this, and men are blaming, some of them blaming that, yeah, this is how it is. I am a man. And some of them are just smart about it and they don't want to get involved because it's hard, man. It's not something easy to take care of the child. And not they are smart, they are like stupid smart that they just don't want to get involved.
Sneaky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sneaky, yeah. And just, but that's just not fair towards anything, towards the child, towards the mother, and towards you as a human being, because that means you are running away. And actually quite interesting, today I was going through my Instagram and I saw one, somebody posted a story, in their story, and
mm.
he wrote there that um it is difficult to go through a divorce, but I am happy that now it's over, and um, I have got the support that I needed to overcome this stage in my life. But I have to say that I'm very happy that now I have time and freedom, and I don't have the responsibility of the child with me. And I was like, wow, that's just so irresponsible to like you made the child, you are happy that you are divorced and that now you have free time. Like, that's just so irresponsible to me. um
That's her
to
loss.
say, it's not that it's about the loss, it's about human morals, like, you cannot bring one child in the world and then all of a sudden later in life you realize, oh my god, I don't want to be responsible of it anymore, and you cannot wait to get rid of it. And it's not, the business doesn't go like this, but it's just.
It's not right, but less headache for the kid when they grows. It's like at least I don't have this
Mm,
person not actually loving me in my life. It can go away.
yeah, but some children won't be able to have this
No,
attitude,
I know that's the sad part.
Mm.
Hmm. It's like okay, I have a father, but he doesn't love me. I'd rather just go away.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
hopefully
but
he
that's.
has a new stepfather that actually loves him like he should. Oh, at least in that way. In that way, I was looking at like not maybe
Yeah, this is, but this is the
I made the
thing,
peace with
Yo-Yo.
my father, but my stepfather is my father. He was there and he was responsible. He you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, I totally get you, but what I mean to say is that people need to be sure of the decisions that they make, and not just make it and then later on, like I'm not saying it now with a bad deal or anything towards anyone, but it has to be a certain type of awareness, and not just because otherwise you are just immature. Like escape what? Like what's the burden of a child to escape? Like what that means to me? It means that you are not able and capable to take care of your own life, or
Mm.
like and you see the child as something that is taking something away from you, which is very irresponsible. Like what is taking away from you? Time from what? From you playing games or being out with the boys, or time from what? From traveling,
Yeah.
from experiencing life. That's bullshit from my point of view, but yeah.
I don't know, but this so obviously this person that you read the Instagram story from, uh,
Yes. It was just
he's a
very
douche.
random. I don't
He's a
know.
douche.
I normally don't read stories, to be honest. I don't know why I even pressed that.
Yeah.
I wanted to check who is he. I didn't know why I follow him, but I unfollowed him
Yeah.
after because I don't know who is.
Yeah.
So,
What I mean, what I mean is that because of what he say, like he's a douche
yeah,
for saying
yeah.
that he's a douche.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's move from here because I feel I'm getting hyped. um what else do we have here? Yeah, I guess with the families that are like at the risk, definitely oh my god. We have there is one more family, which is those that have like substance abuse, and they are more likely to develop emotional incest, like alcoholism and drug addiction. um,
Yeah.
it will increase because it creates a void in the marriage relationship, which definitely will, because if somebody is addicted to a substance, and it can be nicotine or whatever, um, what will happen is that that person that is addicted to the substance, whenever he doesn't or she doesn't get that feeling or pleasure, or I don't know, it's always a feeling that they are looking for, of course, because that's why they are addictive to it. If they do not get it from the partner, then they will turn to, how you say, to the substance, alcohol, nicotine, drug,
Yeah.
whatever, um and that's gonna be felt by the other partner, and that's just gonna bring some type of, it will make the partner used, like, okay, you only need me or want me as long as I give you this feeling, and when that is not being met, you turn to something else. That's just it is betraying in a way or another, or I don't know what to call it.
No,
You
I
get
understand
me.
what you mean.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like um addictions are, I don't know, man. Addictions are something, maybe this is one thing that we will have to make it up in the future with addictions.
Yeah. It's
Mm.
a very extended subject.
Mm. Okay,
Um,
I will let you finish this chapter if you want to bring something
uh,
else.
oh no, say no because somehow we actually managed to say a lot of things in between the lines, or no between the lines when we're talking about a specific. So um,
Mm.
we can move forward. It's fine. We always add information unconsciously, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, definitely. I mean, like, we just go with it. Okay, awesome. So, chapter 6, we've already seen some families that are at risk of developing this emotional incest. So, we did had single parents, we had um, um, people that are, or not people, but partners that are involved with some type of substance abuse, or parents that are children that are single, children that parents, couples that only have one child, again,
Yeah, the
because
only
people,
child.
yeah, the only child, or this was the other thing, the super child, where the parents will try to turn that child into, I don't know what they're trying to do with the poor thing, but just turn it
The,
into,
the kid in the Superhuman 2.0.
yeah, superhuman 2.0, like,
Another
and
stress for
and
the poor
and
kid.
and actually, I have seen and witnessed women when they are like already pregnant and they already start, and even in the book she's mentioning this, when the child is already in the womb and he's listening to Beethoven and all this, like the process already starts since he's there, to stimulate
Yeah.
their consciousness, and that's just like, oh my god, like, leave that
Take it
child to
easy.
it. Yeah, like, I
Take
don't
it
know,
easy.
like putting the headphones on. My child is learning right now. Oh my
Ah,
god, yeah, that's just like, mm, I should not laugh, but it's sometimes it's funny, man, to see it. It's not funny, but I mean, it's not funny. It's actually worrying to what's happening in some families, but it's just funny to see the way they're thinking. It's
yeah, 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 I know what
yeah,
you
yeah.
mean.
Mm.
And
All
yeah, what do
right.
you mean?
Um, anything else that you want to say about chapter 6 before we move to last chapter 7?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
We so good.
Okay. So chapter 7 is actually the last chapter from part 1, and part 2 is gonna have another 8 chapters, and part 2 is more about how to heal yourself if you did grew up as an emotionally involved child into your parents affairs. So okay, let's see chapter 7. So I think it was what's the question?
It was mostly like, what is the difference between enmeshment and healthy families? And she
Mm.
was basically explaining what would be the healthy thing to do in contrast of what is not. And she just pointed
Mm-hmm.
out a lot of the things. For example, what would be a healthy relationship between the parents,
Mm-hmm.
like respecting each other, giving alone each time so they don't lose themselves in just being parents, but they keep on nurturing or giving love to
Mm.
each other as a couple. Because she makes distinctions between you are a couple, you are parents, and then there is the child, which is it was
Yes.
very interesting actually.
Mm.
We can forget to do certain things because okay, I have now this new responsibility, that you forget everything else. I I don't think it will summarize every single point that she's having in here, but one example is I suggested my parents when I was in Spain, oh, we should go for a road trip all together, right? And they were like, okay, that sounds fun. But my mom suggested, Papa, oh, we should go alone to Ascopo to do the trip to. And I said, oh, yeah, that sounds fun. I stay with my
Mm.
siblings. I take care of them. That's fine. But Papa didn't want to. Oh, no, I prefer to go all together. And I told him, you know, you need time with your wife. And he didn't want to. And he went a whole new argument about it. My mom was shutting down. And I'm like, why you don't want to spend time with my mom? And it's like since my siblings were born, right? There were some spending so much time with the kids
Mm.
that that he forgot. It for him it's normal to do everything as a family. And the only thing I wanted to just remind him that it's fine. I mean, you are a good father, but you need time as a man and as a husband, not just
Mm-hmm.
as a father. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you need to spend
Yeah.
time with my mom. And my mom was so frustrated at the end. She was like, "Well." never mind. You know what? If anything, I go on a trip with you. With me, she was meant, right? Like spending
Mm,
time with your own daughter, or going on a little walk with my other sister, or going to the cinema with my brother. This separate
mm-hmm.
relationship that sometimes is needed. It's like
Yeah.
it's okay to spend time with just one person, but a father is a little bit hard hitting that bar.
Yeah, I think
So
this is the
yeah,
thing, because yeah, it's kind of it's not as difficult. They don't know how to make the separation between yeah, their role as a parent, their role as still adult and spouse for their partner, and also, yeah, giving this space for the child to just, be away from the family. Yeah, it's quite interesting to actually see, as in, well, we did, it's not to see, but we did saw already why they are doing that, because they are just involved so much with the child that they fear to let go. And then at one point, to be honest, when they get so involved with the child, they forget um how their partner is like, and then they will be like, oh, it will feel like a stranger to them, because there is
yeah,
no continuous, I would say, connection, communication between them. And of course, it will go, because your partner is not gonna be the woman or the man that you met 10 years ago. It's moving. It's a living thing, and it always moves and learn and
it's a
develops.
living thing.
you know what
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Of course, I was just teasing you. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Yeah, so it's always, that's why it's very important that the partners, they have this always continuous connection, and then speak every day, and no matter how tired they are, it's necessary to keep this going. So yeah, but it's interesting why your father didn't want it to, your biological father.
No, no, my stepfather, my stepfather.
Okay, your stepfather.
But
Okay.
I just call him Papa. It's
Okay, papa.
uh, yeah, he be like that, and then
Hmm.
this treatment of turning your kid into a friend instead of,
Yeah.
because yeah, it's actually problematic sometimes. I mean, share some activity with your parents, sure, of course. It's just
Hmm.
this part where you want to have a different circle of friends, for example, or social circle, and your parents are like, Why? Like, are you embarrassed of me?"
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm like, no, but I want to do my thing. Let me go there.
Yeah, just go away. Let's look a little bit at this, because the way that she's doing here, she's dividing these family dynamics into three different units, which you mentioned. And they are the spousal unit, which it is referring to husband and wife team, without
Yeah.
involving like parent duties. Then the second one is the parental unit, which refers to the caretakers of the child, so the responsibilities towards the children. And the third one is the sibling units, which refers to the children. Now, of course, like, um, let's keep it like this, and then we move. And then, yeah. So then the spousal unit roles and responsibilities over adults and partners are, um, first, she's saying that adult partners respect and support each other. So that means that they are acting as friends, and no matter how hard the day is or how
Yeah.
bad the situation may get, they are always there for each other, and they are able to communicate and solve the situations that arrive between them. As
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, or they are able to ask for whatever they need, like, hug me now, like, I need a hug, or I don't know, pet me, or I'm feeling down, just,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, of course, of course.
yeah, like they need to have this thing and be able to express between them. Then the second one is the partners nurture each other. So, actually, I don't want to jump to that. That's if it's like a healthy, yeah, that if it's like a healthy relationship between partners. But she's mentioning that even in a mesh family system, there may be a lack of respect and intimacy between the adult partners. So yeah, maybe they do have other involvements. Either they're addictive to something, or they do not want to get involved into like even creating a bond with the partner. It's
Yeah.
yeah, that's conflict, and it will definitely lead to other things if it's not being solved and communicated. Um,
Yeah.
and the partners nurture each other. Where in a healthy family system, the adult partners take care of each other. They offer encouragement, support, and affirmation. But on the other side, they are not being very supportive. They're actually trying to putting them down, or
Mm.
speaking bad towards them, and yeah, not supportive at well as at all. And the third one, the partners practice tolerance, so they are trying to definitely, not explode at each other if something comes up, like any incident that might make you feel a bit irritated. You don't just like, start screaming, shouting, or punching things around. So you do learn how to tolerate a few things, and again, learn and communicate them, because mistakes are part of life for sure. But on the other thing, the other part, definitely there are no rules, or there is nothing structured in that relationship. And also at some time, what she's mentioning here is that partners keep scores, as in like, oh, I did this, I'm expecting this, or they just keep scores on whatever little detail they are doing, and they're just collecting those scores, and then it's just gonna be like a World War III once they cannot collect anymore, those
Yeah.
grudges and so on, because they are not talking it out, so it's like, of course it's gonna turn out. And I will let you say the next ones, because she is saying
The next ones.
yeah, because she's having 10 examples of what are the roles and responsibilities of adult and parents. So now is the fifth
But
one.
this one, that's the thing. We were talking about this through the whole time. So it's kind of repeating myself somehow. The adult partners are lovers. I hope it's good. This one gets me. This one gets me. How you say? It's a little bit embarrassing. Not because I don't think it's natural to talk about it. It's just like kind of like, ooh.
I can take it if you want.
Keep it the fire alive. That's what they call it. And yeah, like I can talk. Maybe it's just that I don't know how we will be as a parent. I don't know how it feels. I think that's the things I don't feel confident enough to talk about, because it's like once you become a parent, is you have added not just little human beings to your life, but it's like how you keep that one alive. Maybe just doing the same, like keeping the communication open, and it's not stopping knowing your partner through the years, because people change, obviously. And what was the word? Keep discovering in that matter the sensuality part.
Okay, I can take it. I
You
can take
did this
it.
in purposely. Do you think that's listen? People change, and you probably have to discover if your partner will have new kinks or no. I just keep it
Okay,
a
okay.
little bit comedic.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, so basically what she's trying to say is that, you need to keep the love alive. So if like, because you are still two partners, even if you are going to have children, you still have to have interest in like sexual activities, and still trying to discover what your partner likes or dislikes in bed. That doesn't mean that if a child appears, you need to stop having this interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so And definitely, I think what she's saying here, developing new different styles of sexual expression. Now, okay, this has to always be communicated between partners and be said out. Like, what is it that you want to like? What do they want to experiment together in, like, in
Yeah,
bed? So
and not just in the sexual part, in hobbies, intellectual interests, whatever.
yeah,
It's just that I didn't. I don't think we need to go by parts. No, I think I do. I have seen, at least when you turn these type of things, like, when you have this very good communication in one thing but not the others. Like, there
mm,
is people that will have a very good sexual communication even through so much time, and then they will be lacking in the other parts. Like, okay, we understand each other in the bed, but do we understand well when we go outside and socialize with other people, for example? Maybe we are more distant toward each other,
yeah, but
that type of thing. Yeah.
this has to
So
definitely be looked at, because, like, if somebody's not able to be close to the other when they are in different type of situation, then definitely there's something to be worried about. And and I think that as long as things are being communicated and both parties are open about communicating and looking at this situation, like, okay, why you are not feeling comfortable to be close to me outside? And if they have no answer, then to me that just means that you have no interest into actually forming a bond outside of the sexual activity with me or
yeah,
whoever it is. So then that's it, it's end of the road. Like, and yeah, it's but I totally understand what you mean. It can be very very, it's tough, man. Relationships are tough. Like, it's easy because you need to find somebody that is capable to communicate first of all and bring these things up. Like, it's not just, oh yeah, I meet you, we meet, oh my god, so much love, I'm so in love, I feel so many feelings, like, it's I'm sorry, I'm just being ironic right now.
don't
But I
worry.
mean, it's
It's fun.
it's no, but most of the relationships, this is what they are based on right now. It's first a feeling, like, I'm feeling like this when I see you or whatever, but that's not love. You like the feeling that when you look at that person, when you are next to that person, but you don't know the person because you are blinded by the feeling. You don't
I
do
know
you
what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's like, it cannot be the relation. That's not the relationship, even if it starts based on a feeling, because you don't know me. You know the feeling that I'm giving you. That's it. So it's irrelevant to even move forward. Um.
yeah, and that applies also to being confident, or no, confidence.
Mm,
That's it's funny that she's puts in, but normally like to put it all together, like
mm,
understanding each other in a financial, in a confident, in a sexual, in a friendship, like in hobbies, and
mm.
moral and values too, well, especially values. Having this
Okay. You
balanced
mean the way that she's
communication.
putting them out? Mm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
mm-hmm.
just, yeah, that's the thing. Like in
Yeah.
that, and as when making friends, or interacting with each other's family, uh, is a lot of things that you literally get
Mm,
crazily involved with the person, right? When you are, this is the thing. The main reason the problems come is when you just stop trying and you just don't know the person.
yeah.
Other thing, that's why I gave the example on the road trip and the little argument I got with my father, because it's like,
Mm,
uh, it just gave me the impression that after all these years, what would be bad about going to a trip with my mom, just the two of them? Like, would you guys find out that you actually change and you don't want to face that part? right?
Mm.
So you only know your roles as parents, but you don't know if you actually change. You don't know if you suddenly got new hobbies or you actually would like to try new things.
Yeah,
That's the thing in
yeah, good.
other
Mm.
part other parts too. So yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is definitely, it can be the fear of change, and that they don't know how to connect anymore with that person. Yeah, it's okay. Let's speed up a bit because we've already, oh my god, it's already been quite some time on it. Huh? It's a very interesting topic, actually. Not interesting, but it's something that definitely it's okay. Let's speed up a little bit the parental unit roles and responsibilities. So what she's saying here, that functional parents provide food, clothing, shelter, and medical and dental care for the child, of course. Functional parents offer their children adequate protection. Functional parents are physically affectionate towards the children. Functional parents understand and accept normal stages of child development. Functional parents take into account each child's age and stage of development when assigning privileges and responsibilities. And functional parents establish clear rules and guidelines. Functional parents validate the child's thoughts and feelings and teach appropriate ways to express them. Functional parents respect and encourage each child's uniqueness. In a two-parent household, the parents support each other's authority.
Mm.
And functional parents encourage their children's independence. I like the fact that she's always having like 10, like just for every unit she has 10 sub points, you know.
Oh, well, it might be a coincidence. Who knows?
I,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, so definitely, I mean, everything what she did said here, I mean, it is. I think every person, as I said, should have, these guidelines, as in like, okay, what do I do with my child? And okay, you have these rules, let's say, and you look. Yeah, I mean, I think it has to, man, I think every parent
Mm.
should definitely, every parent and every person that perhaps wants to become a parent should definitely read this book if they do not know or if they are terrified of like how to react to this event in their life. Um so I will speed up to the next one because it's already been 2 hours and we also need
Yeah,
to
no
connect
worries,
with
no
chat.
problem.
um and then the sibling unit, roles and responsibilities of siblings. Siblings teach each other valuable social skills. Children form a natural support group. Brothers and sisters form a society of near equals. Siblings provide a social setting for learning. Brothers and sisters help each other develop and refine an accurate personal history. And she made it 5 here. Okay, my bad. I misjudged you, lady. um, okay. I think what I would like us to move at is we won't develop on those parts. It's and I think I asked you earlier about this little quiz at the end where she basically has each unit. From each unit she has some questions which you have to tick, the 3 2
Ah, yeah,
1
yeah, yeah.
0. Yeah, those ones. And so in each unit she has, for example, my parents had a strong loving relationship. If it was 0, never, does not apply. 1, rarely, if ever. 2, some of the time. 3, most of the time. So I guess my question is like, did you do this one?
I
Did
didn't
you
do it
actually
all.
like
I was
tick?
no, 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 no,
No.
no,
Okay.
no, no. I was not in the mood.
Okay. I did
Yeah,
it, and
how it
um
went.
um pretty awful. um
Pretty awful.
well, part one, I got everything 0, to be honest. Like it's none, like non-existent. Part B, the parental unit, it was a bit, I was not sure, as in like parental unit from both sides, because we're from one of them. this would have been great to be established, because if it's like from both parents, because sometimes, okay, you don't see it as both parents, but sometimes, like for example, my mother, she was like, I could say, like if I look from the parental unit, my mom, she was definitely different than my dad.
Yeah.
Like for example, my parents praise their children, my dad never, so I will definitely put 0. But then my mom, I will definitely put a 3, because she did praise me whenever she had the
Mm.
chance. So it was confusing, this one, like how do I go with it, like um so I skipped that one. But the part C,
Oh, okay.
sibling unit, it's somehow under. I got a 3 score, actually. Not that good. A number
Oh
3,
yeah.
so it was pretty awful, that one also. um but I mean, it's because it is like, me and my brother, we did have a lot of rivalry, as in like fights and the jealousy between each other, like, oh, my mom loves you
Mm.
more, my dad loves you more, oh, I hate you, like, and always fighting about this, because I mean, we were children, so we didn't, um we did felt it was, a difference or something. So
Right.
yeah, we did had not that much support. But yeah, um is there something you want to comment on this part?
This part,
Yeah.
the sibling part, I'm not really. I mean, I didn't do the. I know because I didn't do it, but I understand what is this about. But I will say pretty satisfying in the sibling part because we communicate very well. It doesn't mean well we never fight or
Mm,
fought, especially my big brother because he's more close to me in age.
yeah.
With my other siblings, well, I'm the oldest, but we have a very open communication, so it's actually pretty dope in that way, and I'm very
Yeah.
thankful for that. Now, when it comes to my parents, mm, biological father and my mom, um, probably it's an F. It's an F. They
0.
they had yeah, it was they have a roller coaster or craziness in there, understandable. Now, with the second relationship of my mom, I would say it got better. No, they probably have to work on as couple,
Yeah.
more in the couple part,
Mm,
because well, it's how it went. But if I have to go through the whole thing, damn, that I don't know.
yeah.
Uh, I didn't actually. Sometimes I paid a lot of attention. Sometimes I didn't pay so much attention. So I think some points I wouldn't be able to answer because I was in my world, I was in my bubble,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
really don't know. But yeah, I
Mm.
think I could only talk more about the sibling unit.
That's great. Okay, then awesome. I guess it was great. The first part, it was great. So basically, these books, guys, if you do want to read it, it's basically the title that is written in the book. It's in my title. If you do want to read it, and the first part is looking more as in like what actually is emotional incest, because it does sound a bit weird at the beginning. But then the more you go into the book, and the first part is defining what is emotional incest. It gives explanations and examples of different types of families and who is more at risk to develop this type of um, enmeshment with their children or as a family. But now, since we are done with part 1 for today, next time, which is from 2 weeks from now on, we are going to move into part 2, which part 2, it's about recovery, like how to, you know, if now you are an adult, but you were a child and you did experience all these, let's say, negative aspects from the way that you were being grown up, and it has had some impact on you, then part 2 is gonna look at like how to recover from whatever it has been developed as a consequence
Yeah,
from experimenting irrational.
experimenting in life.
Yeah, yeah.